from hundreds of feedbacks, my producer audits, my mixing and mastering sessions. This is by far the biggest mistake, and it is taking wrong arrangement decisions. And the worst thing is, a lot of producers think it's a mixing issue, and they don't realize it is an arrangement fault and try to fix their arrangement problems with mixing it better. And it doesn't work. It never works. I have a very good example. Listen to this. It is a bit confusing. There are some really cool sounds, but they are mushed together. So when an inexperienced producer listens to this, they immediately think, oh, I have to mix that lead sound better. Gorgeous sound, I have to push it to the forward. Oh look, then I have this one. Super cool lead as well. The problem obviously is the arrangement. Having good ideas doesn't mean that you have to use every single good ideas at once. Give them space, give them time. The first thing, this is a gorgeous sound, but we don't need to repeat. Isn't it sound? Amazing, though it doesn't need to play when that gorgeous lead sound plays, right? Delete, delete. Now we have much more call and answer thing going on. Listen to this. One big issue still, yes, these vocals are very nice, but when they play, probably we don't need to have much things going on, so we remove those leads. So when the leads plays, remove that one. When the leads is gone, play that other sound, so you have everything more in focus. Look how much different it makes to the drop by just changing the arrangement. The difference is day and night. So whenever you have mixing issue on your drops, ask yourself first if you could make it better by different arrangement. Number 2, lack of low end impact. And this is another big one. Many people buy headphones that has a dominant bass, and many others will just go to equalizer of their device and boost the low end a little bit. So if you lack impact on your low end, you are in trouble. I have an example. This one works really well for the drop. Let me show you how it works in a club. Always the lead is important, but also the bass is really carrying this track. Let me switch it to just a regular kick and bass. The drop changed completely, and all I did was using this one like just regular kick and bass instead of this kick and bass. But why this works so well? The main reason is the low end over here has a very clear character and energy control. We have this up, it's pretty straightforward, and then we have this bass layer. The main difference maker really controls the energy inside the loop, so it creates an impact. And then we have this accent. Altogether makes the bass much more interesting and much more impactful in the track, making drop much more impactful. So if you are making electronic dance music, be really careful about your low end. Sometimes it is a difference between an impactful drop and just meh drop. Are you looking for full-length comprehensive courses and the sound packs that designed for modern electronic music production? Then check out mercurialtones.com. You will find one of the best sound sets, samples, courses, my producer audit, and even my mixing and mastering services. And if you are looking for fun, consider taking a look at our festival. You can either get a remote ticket or join us in Stockholm and party whole night. Number 3, lack of memorable hooks. This is a good one. Memorable hooks doesn't mean go all in with the melodies and create the most complex melodies or create the most catchy melodies. Memorable hook just means what the naming suggests. People will remember it after they listen to your track, and even during the listening process they can immediately start hang along and enjoy. Let's start with a very simple example. I won't be able to play fully due to the copyright, but I'll try to play as long as possible so you understand what I mean. This track I listen a lot lately. It's a new Adam Beyer track, simple hook but extremely catchy. Listen to this. So vocal chops creating the melody. The melody itself is super simple but very haunting and works super nicely with this type of ambient peak time track. I'm sure after I stop the track, you can hear it in your head, and this is exactly what hook is. But this is super simple. Can hooks be more complicated? Let's jump into another genre, completely different, and listen how complicated this hook is, but still very memorable. So we have one plucky sound creating this melody with this ooh sound, and then we have on the background supporting whole melody. We have three things going on, but they are more like call and response, and you are like very catchy. I warn you if you listen this. Stick there already, isn't it? More complicated but still very memorable hook. Okay, house techno. Maybe you make hard stuff and you wonder how even hook works, let's say in hard techno. It does, it always does. Let me show an example from Dust Records. Very heavy hard track that I love. Do you hear that sing? Very simple melody still. You're gonna sing that melody. It will stick here. Now, I indeed have another full video about how to create great hooks. So I don't want to go the same details in this video. If you want to go deep into hooks, take a look at here. Number 4, lack of contrast. This one is harder to grasp, but it is as important. We are going to continue learning from the professional artists. This time we are having a track from Space 92. I know some people will be like, again, one of those LFO tracks. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that there's always something to learn. The contrast can mean different things. It can mean the contrast between different elements, the contrast between different sections, the volume contrast, the harmony contrast, basically the difference between different things, right? And here we see a good example of first, the contrast between different sections. Listen to this. So the contrast is we are having this very tamed and lush break into this driving techno drop. This makes the drop much stronger than it is. And the other thing is that actually the lead sound sounds powerful due to the loudness contrast. It is clipped, it's strong, it's minus I think 2 dB already. Look how the master limiter clips it. You don't need to do this much. This is obviously mixed badly, so I could have done much better job. But this shows the idea of loudness contrast, not being afraid of making it loud so that you can emphasize the contrast. You can create contrast also on the pattern. The very classic example of this is of course Tech House. They use all the time. So listen to this. So the first pattern itself has a contrast, having these octave jumps creating this following along that vocal hype, right? Listen again. Another contrast, the bass is breaking forth to the floor, kind of this static rhythm of drums by depending more offbeat and half syncopation more or less, right? Right? This creates like super nice contrast between drum and bass. Final contrast is bass being very loud, almost taking over the mix. Contrast can come really in million different ways. You just need to find the one that works best in your case, in your track. And that can really hype your drops. This one is overlooked, lack of anticipation. If you really long for something and wait for it, and when it happens, it always feels better because you anticipated it. And you can apply this to your drops. If you can build enough anticipation and longing, your drops will intentionally sound better. For example, here we go into this dark drop. Like, energy is low, not much anticipation. If we stop here and think about it, there are different ways to create anticipation and longing. The first one would be the bringing something and gradually increasing in the volume or the character. And the first thing that we do here is exactly that. We are closing up and gradually open up. Gets wider, brighter, bigger. But then there is a trick, and this is an important trick that I see a lot of people or producers overlook. And it is a pattern switch. Like here we have the full pattern. But right before the drop, just make it obvious to everyone, we cut the pattern and we only use the first half here. And take off the low end. Now everybody knows there is something that's about to come. We did everything with a single element. Cut off filter, open it up, change the pattern, just repeat the single part, cut the low and add reverb and delay in it, linger it out. Whenever I talk about these things, everybody thinks about effects. Effects are important, yes, you will use them, but there are so many things that you can use with the current elements. Now take a listen to the vocal. When we approach to the drop, listen what happens. We cut just the first word. So again, very similar approach to the lead, and then we say losing it. And then we cut even MI part, just saying losing it. Build anticipation for the drops. Bass is basically doing the same rules. Open up and clean up the low end. Thin it out. So things are coming, build anticipation, the bass disappearing, it has to happen, right? The rhythm is also another trick. If you have no rhythm and build into a rhythm, kick, clap, kick, clap. Now we are going, now we are building like the car starts going. The interesting thing is then we remove back again. Now it is time for the effects to come in to make it super obvious for everybody. Transition effects. The pitch riser, bring in the snare roll, right? Emphasize the contrast, clap. Big payoff after the anticipation, and this works every single time.